Hello, and welcome back to Spiritual Maintenance. I am your spiritual advocate, Mystic Mary. So, this is kind of different. I had two messages come up, and I can't really figure them out. So, I'm going to try to figure it out here, and I'll decide later whether or not to post this. Okay, so the first one was stop traumatizing yourself to meet the standards of a traumatized person. Avoid from the heart. And then the second one was stop burning yourself out to meet the standards of a burnt out person. Anxiously cling from the heart. Anxiously cling from the heart. I don't understand that. But that's what came up. So I'm going to sit with this. I think I'm going to go to the traumatized one first. And think like, what are ways that you would be traumatized by a traumatized person? And I think that is a void from the heart. What I'm getting is that when you are seeking love from a traumatized person, you're recognizing, okay, they've been traumatized, so I need to meet them at this level, and so you give, and you give some more, um, to the point that you become depleted, and then when you ask for love or insinuate you want love, um, they reject you, they avoid you, they invalidate you, and that can be traumatizing because when you are loving fully, you are in a very vulnerable position. And so when you are rejected at that level, you can literally feel your heart physically react to such heartache. And that in itself is traumatizing to the point that love itself becomes a trigger for you. So, someone who has been traumatized by external factors and you are trying to heal them, save them, etc., things that they should be doing on their own, um, and then they push you away due to their trauma, you end up becoming somebody who becomes apathetic. Um, or you still show love, but you've closed yourself off to receiving it, thus creating a future for you that is loveless. That's heavy. So avoid from the heart. So that's recognizing that by avoiding this person, you're doing your heart a service. You're keeping yourself safe, and that you are not picking up their battles. You're allowing them to do that by themselves because that's the only way they'll grow is when they pick themselves up. They recognize what they've been through, and they can still make that conscious choice to be whole in the end. And you just hold space for them, even if that means giving them that space, to do themselves. Okay, and then I think that kind of goes along the same lines of the don't burn yourself out, because if a burnt out person is around you, they have no motivation for anything, and so then you end up picking up the slack, um, as well as everything else that you have to do, and so you're just carrying all this weight. Anxiously cling from the heart. That's where I'm confused because I don't like, anxious is not a good thing. Neither is clinging, because to me that's obsessive. So maybe you're obsessive from the heart where you're like checking in with them, while at the same time I'm hearing asking others for help. So if you're taking on all your things and then this person, isn't able to pick themselves up, then you need to look for outside sources that can help you, and who you feel safe communicating that with. Like, I would say family members, but I know a lot of you in this field of spirituality, the whole reason you've been awakened is because the lack of healthy family systems. So, finding a support system that can help you, um, that and be okay asking for help. And if the worst that can happen is someone says no, and then you just move on to the next person, because just because they say no does not mean they're not your friend. It doesn't mean that they like you less, anything else. But recognize that, because I'm hearing that strongly. Like, no does not mean rejection. It just means that they can't at that moment. But a lot of times, no is seen as rejection, when you're kind of in that burnout, traumatized area. So just know that it's okay to ask. The worst that's going to happen is you're going to get a no, and then you just move on your merry way. Um, and then you can anxiously cling to that person vicariously through the people that might be able to help them. Whether that's, you know, you send in a friend to them, or a mental health provider, whatever it is. You just kind of take a back seat and then just kind of peek in curiously on how things are going, knowing that it's out of your hands. Because if you take that on all the way, you too will be burnt out. And if you have children, um, need I say more? Um, so yeah, put yourself first, ask for help, and recognize that you saying no does not mean you don't love that person. If anything, it means that you really love them and you are giving them that space to grow and to heal. And you're their biggest fan. I think we got it. All right. I will see you later. Bye.